Well, today on the show, we're probably going to touch the third rail a few times. Do you guys know what that means?
No, tell me more.
Do you? It's like when
Please enlighten.
the third rail. So it's when you talk about taboo kind of topics that will get you cancelled type stuff. And it came from in America, like the subway and the train lines. They've got the two tracks that are the roller train tracks. And then third rail is the electricity. So you touch the third rail, you're dead.
Okay.
All right.
That's where we're going.
We're touching the third rail today. We're just grabbing it because we're talking about people giving advice when they shouldn't. We're talking about point hacking. There's going to be some controversial, when to refi your mortgage and more. Lucy in the Facebook group, she rocked up and said, "What up, gangsters? What is up? I have removed voluntarily paying $100,000 or $100 a fortnight." Yeah, rich much, Lucy. And we've got Phil Thompson from Sky Wealth here, friend of the show. Hey, Phil.
Hey.
Jimbo Millard, James Millard from Sufficient Funds.
Hello.
You're here as well.
Present.
You're here for the next couple of episodes. I have removed voluntarily paying $100 a fortnight salary sacrifice to my super fund from my work pay. It's a good thing to do. Anyway, I thought the gross would show 100 more, but it's showing $72 additional as my tax increased by 32 a fortnight. I think Lucy meant the net there. So effectively, she thought maybe that there's a different number, but I don't want to bury the lead. But the next question is what I want to scratch and double click on. My tax agent said it's better not to salary sacrifice at my age, early 30s, and put that extra $100 to my mortgage.
Oh,
thank you, Professor Science. However, it's not $100, and I know it's taxed with super, but I just get confused about the amount it's taxed through my pay and wondered which way works best. The extra going to the mortgage or super, and how much gets taken with tax. So, Philly, 101, if we're on a 32% tax rate or whatever it is, is it 32? I always forget.
There is a 32% tax rate, yes.
Add a bit of Medicare levy, that gets you to your tax rate with money that you get in your bank account.
Yeah.
If you put that money to super, the tax rate is?
15% inside of super.
So is 15 less than 32?
yes. 17, yes.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
So the difference is we've got $85 going into the super account.
Yeah.
Out of that $100 pre-tax, $85 is going into the super account or $72 is going to your bank account. You got one of those two options. And that $100 is always pre-tax. And so that's
sorry,
where Lucy
I'm
was
an idiot.
that.
Sorry, it's 32 including the Medicare levy.
Yeah.
And we got someone, I think, who was on the show? Martin on Retire Right. He got run over the coals. Someone was like, I was disappointed. You bloody got the tax rate wrong. And it's 30, not 32. He's like, oh, I kind of just was including the Medicare levy.
Yeah,
so.
we can't escape that.
That applies as well.
Well, there are some carve-outs, but probably in her situation, it's no carve-out. But 32% including Medicare levy.
Yes. And so that's what Lucy's referring to. She's got $100 pre-tax. She's gone, well, that was going to super. Let's actually just take that. We'll put it in the mortgage. And that's why we're seeing $72 in the bank account.
Yep.
And $32 going to the ATO. Thank you for your donation.
So the tax agent, who is holier than thou, is saying, don't you be salary sacrificing at your age in your early 30s, Lucy. It's better to go on your mortgage. Here is a statement of advice with, with this financial advice that I've given. I don't know. I wrote in the Facebook group, sounds like unlicensed financial advice to me or undocumented or something.
I enjoyed it.
Both.
Look,
Both.
Let's just clarify. Accountants can give you tax advice and they can give you an opinion on what to do when it comes to your tax. Superannuation is a financial product. it's legislated to give advice on a financial product, you need to be a licensed financial advisor and you need to give that advice through a statement of advice. And so that's where, all us, traumatized financial advisors who have been hammered into us that we can't even talk to anyone about, whether they should salary sacrifice or not, because it's an easy question and a relatively simple options. But to give a statement or an opinion that influences a decision
Is advice.
Is financial advice.
And for us would require documentation that takes a little while to
amount of
put
work.
together.
So look, I don't want to get held up in the weeds and the risk of three friggin' boomers here having a chat about, someone giving unlicensed financial advice. I just wanted to talk about this because anyone that I've ever dealt with in my life who has got to age 65 or 70 and retired with a healthy super balance, no one has regretted putting extra money into super. If you don't miss it, you don't miss it. Keep it going. If anything, it can cover some of the insurance premium. Yeah. So I think, Lucy, my tax agent, it's better based on what? Have you got the discipline to automatically get your employer to pay that $100 into the actual mortgage, bypass any bank account?
And if you want to look at return on investment, interest rates are dropping on home loans at the moment. And I mean, now we're in the mid fives, basically, low fives probably, really, by the time we get there. And super, I mean, unless you're invested really conservatively, once it gets in there, which let's not forget, like Phil just outlined, you're getting more in super because you get a better tax rate on the way through and you get the deduction personally. The return on investment with a long-term higher risk approach is likely to be 7, 8, 9, 10%. And by the time you get there, it's completely tax-free.
Yeah.
And this is where, if Lucy was earning, $15,000 a year doing part-time work and salary sacrificing, well, from a tax position, it's fine for the account to talk about, well, you're getting taxed in the super fund, but if you took that as take-home pay, you wouldn't get taxed. But, that's not the case in this situation.
Yeah. Anyway.
We just need to know probably a little bit more around Lucy, but how much is the 100 a fortnight all she's got left? Is there a lot more? Could she do a bit of both? Maybe.
Right. Is it pocket change in Lucy's world, and is she spooked because it's not the right money decision because of the accountant or the tax agent? Anyway, my name's Glen James. This is a podcast called Money, 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 and it is brought to you by Sphere Home Loans. We are pro home loan mortgage broker people around here, and we thank you to Sphere Home Loans for supporting the podcast. If you want a mortgage, if you want a new mortgage, if you want an old mortgage, you want a left mortgage, if you want a right mortgage, go to Sphere Home Loans. That's sphere.com.au or Sphere, I don't even know the website. Google it, Sphere Home Loans, link in the show notes. Let's do a podcast right now. You're listening to Money, 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 or as the regulars like to call us, M3. Everything discussed on the podcast is general advice only, which I'm licensed to give, and details can be found in the show notes. My name's Glen James, former financial advisor, now podcaster. I host this show and a show called Retire Right. I've also got a book called The Quick Start Guide to Investing, which you can check out wherever good books are sold, or there's a link in the show notes. Otherwise, thanks so much for listening today. Now on with the show. All right, grab that third rail, Jimbo. Phil, do you want to read the Taylor question?
All right, so Taylor's asked, so mortgage offset / points hacking. Planning ahead because our place isn't ready and I'm just excited.
Oh yeah!
We are wanting to have our pays go into our offset account and live off the credit card to accrue points and pay the total balance off from the offset account.
What could go wrong?
We mostly fly Virgin and their partner airlines, and I think we want to focus on earning Flybuys points. The monthly spend would be around $10,000 a month, so $120,000 a year. Who does this? Is it worth the effort? Does anyone know what the best way to compare options is?
What's your view on this point? Do you guys point hack?
I personally don't. I used to live like this, and then decided that actually it wasn't worth it because, you get caught out once and start paying interest, and you start paying the interest on your credit card, it completely wipes any benefits. So we now structure our monthly spend. We put it into a bank account. And, I did a budget, 12 months ago and worked out what was our yearly spend and then cut it down a little bit. And so now we put that amount of money into a bank account and we spend from cash for everything.
Yeah.
And it's helped us, mentally helped us go, all right, this is our limit towards the end of the month. If there's not enough money in there, then we stop spending.
We do the same, very similar. We have different bank accounts for a few different things and we save intentionally into them. And the day we get paid, it moves into all these buckets. We leave a bit of a buffer in the main one just in case we get the big bill like you've done. You've done the 12 months. We kind of just fluctuate and let it roll like that, but not leaving too much.
And so could you do that with a credit card being the spending option and
it's so much harder because the way we run it, we do this with clients, right? We kind of practice what we preach in this sense of we've got a bills account. We split the fun and the boring. So without getting too technical, we're looking at, what's always going to be there? That comes out of one account. What are the decisions that we're making? Lifestyle, if we're going to the pub, we're doing those things, they come out of another. But essentially, they're getting enough per fortnight for what we should need. And that's it. And so you're conscious, right? You just said it. You're actually setting the behavior in a way that you're spending your money. So it hurts a little bit more when you do it. And on the flip side, the credit card, everything goes on there. It's impossible to know that you're on top of your spending.
Yeah.
And we've met all extremes of client, right? Even the most frugal people can slip up a little bit with that. And when you slip up, that's your balance of cost versus points.
Yeah.
Right. So if you overspend, all of a sudden, to be honest, I tuned out because before I saw the who does this, is it worth it? I don't know the answers to those because and we'll get shot down for this, right? But it is very rare.
My comment is you're so rich and wealthy, you don't need a points hack. Is that why you have that opinion?
No, that's why we set it up. That's why we set it up in that way, that if we're intentionally saving, and points is, for us, if we were points hacking, we'd be traveling with it, right? So we intentionally save our travel budget into a cash account and make it happen. Where does it work? Where's there a good balance? I think have the credit card if you've got yourself off the L plates with that structure, whatever that needs to look like. Have the credit card for the big stuff. When you buy your travel, then you might get free travel insurance with the card, with the right card. Those types of things.
And then you just clear it off straight away.
Yeah.
It's effectively paying it with cash.
So for someone who needs a bit of that, you could go to that happy medium. And I've had lots of debates with clients with this stuff over the years.
You points hack, Glenn?
No, not at all. But
you killed your credit card a little while ago, didn't you?
I did. Well, so I don't use and I don't teach using credit cards for day-to-day expenses. I don't use a credit card for day-to-day expenses. Look, the way that the thing works, most people, most of the time, can't use a credit card and they overspend. And no one thinks they're the one that fits into that, most people. Because the whole thing works because people overspend and they pay interest and that subsidizes the point scheme. My friends, this is what we call a good old-fashioned racket and most people are getting screwed. Now, just live your friggin' life. Flybuys points, they're like, okay, I've got an Amex that the business owns. And it's really good for business because I've got Rach in the team has an Amex. Jess in the team has an Amex. I just got Ryan an Amex. With the traditional banks.
I'll take one as well if you're giving him out.
Because for me as a business, it's really good because if any of them have to buy something, just sort it out. And they don't have to go into a branch. Like with flipping ANZ, I had to send someone into a physical branch to sign all this crap. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Then on the thing, it just says, oh, Rach has spent $90. She's bought something awesome. Yeah. So from a business point of view, it's so much easier for me to manage cards for my team.
We've got the same card.
Yeah, all I think I referred
Yeah,
you to that.
you
Did
got
I?
the sign-on bonus.
Yeah, baby.
Bonus from me
Yeah,
as
baby.
well.
Sent it to my cousin Jason the other day as well. Got 80 from you, 80 from you, 80. But
That's how you point at.
That's right, baby.
Get other people on
hacking.
credit cards.
no. But so all our subscriptions, like I don't use it. Like with the exception of the team, if they use it, if at the post office or if Ryan needs to buy something for the studio or if Jess needs to or Rach needs to buy some plugins online or something for the audio team, I'm okay with paying the 1% fee or whatever it is because for me, that's just an admin cost. It makes life easy. But I don't use it for anything that I use in the business that has a fee. Like I'm not one that will use it to pay the GST or the bath stuff. I don't care for that.
Numbers, they do not make sense
No.
at all.
However, we've got about 40 grand a year of subscriptions that are primarily US companies like the Google, Slack, Dropbox, Adobe, all this. It's all on the Amex.
Yeah.
So I use it in the business just because it's easy and I do a bit of flying. Like I've got my Qantas Gold thing and I've got my Marriott Bonvoy Platinum and all that. So for me,
You're an enthusiast.
I use the points literally because the best thing to do with points is for actual seats, not for buying a new Dyson hair wrap, not for buying a flippin' new toaster or anything like that. The best value for points are the seat upgrades. And if I'm in Melbourne and I'm coming home late, I'll put my flight in the afternoon. I'll be like, I'll put that upgrade in for business, might be 10, 15,000 points, whatever, get fed on the plane on the way home. It's just, it works. But I do not operate my life around this. I need to optimize points for everything.
But that's the I think a really important point is we all have credit cards for our businesses. We all do the similar thing in our own businesses. We've got subscriptions. It's easier for team members to spend money if they need to, but none of us have it personally.
I do actually have a personal one that because I'm going overseas for a month and I just can't be bothered getting caught out. I just got one.
Yeah. But it's like, I mean, I've got a personal Amex, but I don't use it,
Right.
like at all. It's if nothing else is, working for whatever reason.
But I don't. I just literally day-to-day expenses. I use my bank card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay cash for everything, and that tells you something. Two real advisors and one used to be advisor.
phony.
Don't points hack. It tells you that it's
And
important
I think
to
the whole points hacking. It's when you we always churn cards. It's just going to catch up with you. And you know what? Like 10,000 Qantas points, if you use it for like everyday stuff, like car bookings or gift cards and all that online, it's kind of worth like 40 to 70 cents a point.
Yeah.
Virgin isn't.
Where they're worth less now, aren't they?
Yeah, they keep
they've just come down.
Yeah.
Virgin ones are worse than Qantas. So if you're going to do points hacking, you'd probably using Qantas.
And Qantas just announced they're reducing it again, right?
Well, yeah, this month, August or September. But the value is when I upgrade, it's basically 10,000 points could be worth up to $1,000. So I don't know. You can do what you want to do, but you've got your first mortgage. Let's get excited about getting settled in the mortgage and not trying to optimize, because the minute you don't have a system, the minute you want to focus on the points, you will overspend because you'll be buying stuff. Oh, we'll put that on the card to get the points.
Our household, we save 10% of our spending annually by changing up our cash flow system. And we've got a family with 3 kids. Like there's a lot of spending in our household,
that's huge.
and we save 10% by getting rid of all our
time.
credit cards and just good cash flow management.
The only other thing Taylor's trying to do by putting all their pays in the offset account, and this is a bit of a salesy thing, you often see it with like a mortgage broker who wants to sell investment properties, and they're talking about the loan structure and how you get your offset account and get your credit card and everything sits in the offset and it offsets everything, right? So you're spending someone else's money while yours is working for the bank against the bank and for you, right? But
you can actually crunch it on a monthly basis.
Yeah, it makes sense in theory, but behaviorally, again, if your cash all sits in one bucket, it becomes very, very difficult to see what's spendable and what's not. What's it actually there for? Can I afford that holiday? Where's my emergency fund up to? Super confusing. And when confusion comes into your day-to-day spending, it's a disaster waiting to happen.
And I've done this on the fly, so it's probably wrong. So whatever. But you could work it out, like that $10,000 a month offsetting the mortgage, you might only be saving $40 a month of interest by doing that. Now, the question is, the question is, are you overspending $100 or more with the card?
Yeah.
Because there's no psychological pain when you're not using your own money. You'll be more enticed, we'll just put on the card. And I've been there, I've done it. We have it in, we'll throw it on the card, guys, and pay me back, and someone forgets, you don't chase them up, so you're carrying that bag. I did it the other night with my not credit card. Or I'm not good at like ordering. There was a few of us had dinner, and I'm like, I'll get some pizzas. It was at the other factory where John's is. We hang out there some Friday nights. I'm like, I'll get pizzas, guys, and there was people coming over. Ordered like $430 worth of pizzas. Like I overcated. There was lots of pizzas. And I'm like, I'll just get it, guys. Just hook me up. And I think one person gave me $50. Someone else for their family gave me $100. And I think that's all I kind of recouped. I'm like, whatever. But my problem, but I don't care. But it's like these little things, if you were doing it on credit.
Yeah, I'll get the points.
I'll get
you
the
give
points,
me the cash back.
but you don't chase the cash back.
Yeah.
And you don't chase it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. There's 3 people here who don't use credit for day to day, and I would hypothesize that we're financially okay. I mean, when I went to Bali in September, because I used the Qantas Business Rewards through the Amex thing, I paid, because I've just got lots of points, I paid return business to Denpasar with Qantas. You would never pay for it with cash, particularly for holidays, but it was like 330,000 points. So pretty expensive for points, but...
That sounds like points hacking is a good thing then.
No, I'm saying if you would do, like, the points, they're valuable for flights only. Flights only. Yeah. But I don't operate my life.
You accumulated them with the business
just
spending
the ordinary
anyway, right?
course of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, most individuals wouldn't accumulate that much. You're spending $40,000 on subscriptions a year. Most households,
that's right,
aren't spending anywhere near that.
Now, for every, there's probably 20 different money podcasts and 500 people on Reddit who are saying we're dickheads. You can do this, but not everyone is like you. Most people, most of the time, will overspend on their credit card. They'll get caught out with interest payments, and their finances will be in a mess.
Yeah, the wealthier I'm getting, the more cash I'm spending, as in the
physical.
Yeah, as in not physical. I'm just getting rid of all credit.
The more you're trying to control it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I've been answering these questions and helping people with their budget for years, and you both have. Don't try and get cute and outsmart the system, because it is designed to make you spend more.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all about sucking you in, making it exciting.
Because when I applied for that credit card, because I knew I was traveling, this is the outrageous thing. It's just because I got the Qantas something MasterCard.
Did you give yourself a referral link to sign up personally?
No, unfortunately.
New email address?
This is the outrageous thing. They did it, and I said, because I was just like, whatever, I'll see, and I ticked just give me whatever limit. I've reduced it down to I think 20 grand limit or something like that. And do you know the limit that they gave me automatically?
With an income like yours, wouldn't surprise me.
On the Qantas card.
On Qantas.
100?
Like 90 grand or something, 88.
$1,000 credit card.
I'm like, this is freaking, any one of this country's cooked. Yeah. I'm like...
The Amex doesn't even limit you.
No,
it just sets you up. You don't even know.
Yeah, get there. I'll open it up because you can go in. I'm full on anti-credit for day-to-day, but I've got it in the business, and it's kind of
we
fun.
flip the script now.
Hey, everyone, in the show
How many
notes,
cards have you
there's
actually got?
There's a link to my Amex business in the show notes.
Oh, yes.
No, I would never do
Get
that.
those.
How do you do it in the app?
That's how you
mine
point
in.
hack.
This is not an endorsement for Amex. They've wanted to sponsor the show. I will never take money from credit card companies to oh yeah, look at that. Today, Jess Knaus, she did something. It's got her name there. So it's handy. I don't know. Where do you find it, James, where you can put in the spender? Tells you how much.
The Amex app?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Go to, I don't even know. There was something where you could try new features.
This is surely getting cut. This is not compelling listening.
It's not compelling listening.
We are boring. Everyone to
boring.
death. Taylor's left the Facebook group.
Taylor's-
She's like, I'm done
she's
with you.
convinced.
Taylor's just gone. I'm
She's at least
getting a
convinced.
Qantas Amex. I'm into it. I wanted
set
to
up a
find it.
business.
I don't know where it is.
What are you talking about?
Offers,
Offers?
membership, track your earnings, home, statements and activity. Here we go. Spending power. We got there. I'm going to put, check your spending power. I'm going to put $200,000 in. You reckon?
Where are you?
In the Amex app. Good news. You're likely to be approved
Yeah,
of a
there you go.
$200,000 purchase.
Now you can go
on
and get that
Amex.
Aston Martin.
Let's go, baby.
Oh my goodness.
Try another amount. I'll do 250.
Yeah, I just found it.
Where is it? How do I get there?
It's in.
Good news. I could
just
do
searched.
250.
Search at the top.
I'm going to do 300.
Check spending power.
This is.
Oh, no, it won't let me do 300, but it'll let me do
300?
250.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back after this.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Oh,
What did you get? 300.
Okay, we're back, and these guys are still looking at their spending power. Did it let you do 250 or 300?
I can do 250.
I can do 250. What can you do, Phil?
I can't do 250.
Hey, you're not using
You
it.
haven't used it enough.
Yeah, clearly.
They know Glenny Boy sends it to everyone. They're going to look after me.
Not as. I can't even do 200.
Yeah, but you're poor. So,
Yeah,
So
clearly.
there's that.
I'm
I'm
don't
not-
use it enough.
No, but like I've had mine for a few years.
That's scary.
and
They've locked me out of the tool.
You're
Sorry,
done.
you're too
You just
poor.
lost your points, mate.
But I like. It's funny. I was actually listening to this thing. What was it? It was some type of something on being a hypocrite. And what was I listening to? Or I was watching something on YouTube or listening to something. And what was it? Anyway, so someone who's a functioning alcoholic, someone who's an alcoholic will tell someone, don't drink alcohol, you'll end up like me.
Got it.
That's a hypocrite, but it's also this realistic, healthy thing, right?
Yes.
So we're all hypocrites. I'm saying in your personal life, you'll be fine if you don't have a personal credit card for your day-to-day expenses.
But we don't points hack personally.
No, not at all.
Like,
I've
we
just got it as a
only-
tool, and because I fly a lot, and I'm
If you could do
nasal-
the same functionality with cash, we would.
yeah, and I think you can with some of those accounts. Like I think VD was advertising Virgin, or someone was doing it with a debit card. But for me, it's so easy with the staff. I go through. I don't have to go. Oh, who spent $200 at This company, it just goes, oh, rage. Right. Or like, so if they took it tomorrow, I would not care. I would not replace it. But it's just for me, business owner. We asked the Facebook group, what's one thing you DIY'd that genuinely saved you a ton of money? I got an Amex
Points.
by myself.
I hacked points.
Callum, since switching to self-serve checkouts, I've easily cut 30% off my grocery bill. How does that work?
Are they stealing 30% of the groceries?
Oh, yeah. I think because there's been like 66 people laughing.
reacting.
Yeah, okay.
The camera will get you, Cal.
Yeah, you got us.
You can't get past those gates.
Yeah, you got us. All right, come on, let's keep this snappy.
Olga said our front fence was quoted $11,000. Ended up buying materials ourselves, paid someone to put the post in, and we assembled the rest ourselves. Spent less than $1,500. That's a big DIY.
Solid effort.
Oh, just on fences and stuff. If you live on the New South Wales Central Coast and you want to get a fence, this is an ad for my friend.
Another referral.
Yeah, he'll give me 80,000 points. Inspire property ideas and fencing. Give Wally a call. He did the custom grid in the studio. So he's a fabricator. He does awesome. He did the fences on a commercial property of mine. Awesome stuff. So,
but if you want a DIY, you can as well.
But if you want a wonky fence, do it yourself and don't call Wally. But yeah, I will shout out Inspire Property Ideas and Fencing and Gates.
Shout out Wally.
He will help you up. New South Wales Central Coast. Tell him Glenn sent you so I can get a delicious kickback of 80,000 Qantas points.
Stefan has said he bought Toyotas and never needed to spend a cent on breakdowns.
Yeah.
His whole life.
Australia. Landscaping and retaining wall in backyard was quoted 75K. Not a typo. It wasn't a fancy scope and it didn't include plans. Currently running total about 5K, 80% completed. I mean, I've been on a deep dive binge recently on YouTube on civil engineering and particularly retaining walls. You just want to make sure you get that drainage
don't
sorted.
do retaining walls yourself.
But also, whatever, don't care.
Casey said, saved at least $10,000 doing our own kitchen reno. Ended up getting a second-hand kitchen off Facebook Marketplace and installed it ourselves. It suited the space perfectly.
Sounds like a good move, Casey. Lee said fixing my bathroom sink. It was actually so easy it cost me $2 for the hot dog I got while I was at IKEA looking at my sink there and seeing how it was meant to be.
It cost me $2 for the hot dog.
I think the sink wasn't working and then went to IKEA to check out what it's meant to look like. Bought a hot dog at IKEA, went back home, fixed the sink.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Tracy. So many things, guys. I have 3 boys. I cut all their hair. Dear God, hope you're a good hairdresser. I fixed the electrical issue on the fridge door thanks to YouTube. Don't be touching her fridge when you visit. I get a little zapperoo. Fix my own plumbing issues with my dishwasher. Reset my own water pump when we ran out of water. Painting, sanded my own deck. The list goes on. No hard nose. My hard nose are electricity and big projects or physically challenging projects.
All right, a friend of the show and a friend of all of ours, VD, Victoria Devine, saying, doing my builder gel nails at home. What are builder gel nails?
What are builder gel nails?
Like Sellies?
Kate's not a nails person, my wife.
Builder gel
nails?
No,
I don't know nails.
Builder gel in a bottle. I think it's just must be thicker or something. It's a thing. How to apply builder gel on natural nails, blah, blah, blah. So there you go.
Thank you, Victoria.
Victoria Devine. She's got a podcast called She's on the Monet. It's a French wine podcast. Oh, gosh. Daniel Quinn, regular pest of the show. Worked out if dishwasher blocks, you can still tilt it forward to clean the drain and get it working again. Made a good mess. Do you want to read some quickly, guys?
Elise, getting our house full of carpet from Fowles Auctions and paying to get it laid. Cost $3.5 for the full house of full wool carpet and a guy to supply and underlay it. Saved.
Pity it's got a blood stain in the
$5-7
shape of a body, but we'll take it.
And Brittany saying a wedding. Did a lot of it ourselves, including flowers and cake from family.
And if anyone wants an MC for their event, hit me up. I'll do it. You have to pay me. But
Catherine Hayes, another friend.
Hello, Catherine Hayes.
Hello, Hazy. Cooking and cleaning. Not outsourcing these things saves a fortune.
F that. I'm never cooking again or cleaning again.
We've outsourced
and do people
cleaning
actually
for a
call her
long
Hazy?
time.
Do they?
No, that was that was
All right. Nat said,
she'll love it.
Oh, I'm sure she would. I've seen some low interest rates for mortgages, and I'm wondering, how do you decide when it's time to contact your broker to refinance? Is there a rule of thumb for time between refinancing? Is there an episode on this? No, there isn't. My interest rate is already pretty good at 5.5, but I've seen 4.9. I mean, you'd have to knock on your broker's door yearly, wouldn't you? Just to see which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love it, Nat, if your broker was knocking on your door yearly. But I think annually is a good thing. Be aware that if you've just set it up, the broker will lose money by moving it, and so you want to respect that because they got paid for all the work up front that they did for you through that. And if you move a mortgage within the first 2 years, generally, they'll have what's called a clawback. It might be all of it, depending on when it happens. But your mortgage broker can also talk to your bank. And so that's where it's really worth understanding, well, what's going on in the market, and can we
you make
negotiate there?
Yeah, you make a good point, because I literally was writing down, people say refinance, and I get it, that's this umbrella term, but it doesn't need to be a full application, refinance to another bank and all this. It could be just a repricing, and they might be able to do a better deal. So just on this, I've seen 4.9, ours is 5.5. If you've got a 90% loan and you've paid LMI and all this, you're considered a higher risk to someone who's got a LVR of 70 or 60. So high risk, the bank needs to have a higher premium for that risk, which is a higher interest rate. So sometimes if you've seen 4.9, they might advertise it, but you might need to have a 30-40% deposit or equity.
Yeah, I mean, if there's been enough time, maybe your equity has grown to the point that you've stepped under one of those lines too, right? And so you've paid off a bit, your property's gone up in value, maybe you can get a better rate straight up anyway.
And this is the thing, you don't want to just automatically refi to another bank and stuff to chase a bee's nipple of a discount, because there's going to be discharge fees, there might be a mortgage application fee, the soft cost of your time, that's a consideration. So by the time you actually do the cost benefit, and a good broker should do this, you'll get back to square one with this lower rate after 12 months. I reckon if it's longer than that, you're probably not bothering. I don't know. And if you paid LMI, if you went to another bank and refinanced to get a better rate, you don't want to pay LMI again.
Yeah.
Our mortgage broking team would run that through, and then, you could spit out, okay, well, what are the top three?
See what he did there?
I heard
that.
You cheeky monkey.
Well, I've only known because I've looked at the reports so many times.
Right. Yeah, he just slipped in there, the sufficient solutions.
I'm here to help.
Yeah, I'm James. I'm here to help. But Jimbo's got a mortgage broker team. You can reach out to them.
When you run it through that system, you can see at the bottom the dollar differences, not just the rates.
Yeah, because it's not about, rate's important, but there's other considerations. So there you go, everyone. Well, we can end the episode there because Jim got his plug in for Sufficient Solutions.
I drove 20 minutes to get here.
That's right. Blessy, hi. I have DHHF. I'm wondering what else could I add? Thank you.
Oh,
nothing. That's the point, isn't it?
Keep it simple.
I think you know what I wrote? Money.
Add
Keep
more.
shoveling. We don't have to overcook our investing. How many times you see it in the Facebook groups? Oh, I've got this, and we've got to optimize, we've got to this, we've got a points hack, we've got to. Keep it so simple, you'll be rich.
Yeah, we've got a self-managed super fund because we've got a property in it.
Do you? Rich much?
But outside of that, we've got investments and we've just got 2 index funds. Keep it simple. Every time money goes in there, we just invest in those 2 funds. Like that's not my jam. I'm not a investment specialist. We do.
Oh, what do you do, Phil, for work?
Yeah, we help people set up personal insurance cover at Skywell. So thank you for asking.
Oh, you're welcome.
And so, I think it's just the stats shows that keeping it simple and just keeping your life simple, putting yourself in the index fund is more than enough. Think about, how do I earn more money to put in this? Don't spend time, energy, effort, going down any, crypto and thinking about adding that, or even other,
What's
more
your
sexy.
view on crypto, Philly?
I have good friends who love to tell me to get into crypto, and I have done it in the past and got out a long time ago. And I just think,
And those good friends are now got lots of money, don't they?
and now still in the same position they were 4 years ago when they told me to get in.
I think they're on yachts.
No, they're very successful, Phil. They're very successful.
Yeah, so I just think
couldn't
keep
hack
it simple.
it, could you?
Keep it
You
simple.
could not
No,
hack it.
I couldn't.
But in saying that, I mean, if you're in an index fund, you're basically saying we trust the market and we're happy to let it roll.
I'm
And
happy
that's
with market returns.
Absolutely fine, right? Absolutely fine. If you want to add a bit of spice to that, and sometimes it makes sense, then you could look at DHHF and go, well, is it missing anything? It's fully passive, so do you like that idea of having a manager try and chase better returns? Depending on what happens in the world at different times, that approach is likely to outperform, but it's absolutely not guaranteed. So you're definitely not just throwing a dart at the map when it comes to an active manager approach. There are other considerations around DHHF, which, you're basically saying, I want to keep it simple. If you don't want to keep it simple, then you're in the wrong place, right? And so if you want to mix it up, then you need to take a bigger approach to that. And some people have an interest in it. Some people are looking at it and saying, could I potentially beat the market? Well, you're never going to beat it if you're in an index fund. But for most people, especially most people who aren't getting any advice on this, because advice costs money. And if you go down that path, you might end up in a better position, depending on how much money you've got. But if you're DIYing it, bless you, and you're saying, you know what, I've got enough going into this that I'm happy that it just tracks the market, then rock and roll. And that wasn't advice, bless you.
I'm just quickly going to log in on something. But before I do that, DHHF is a ETF, if you weren't aware. It's a portfolio in a box. And I'll make sure the team put in the podcast show notes and the YouTube show notes, I did a full deep dive review of DHHF versus Vanguard released a new product. Did you know that, guys? Called VDAL, Vanguard Diversified All Growth. Yeah. And
it comes in a couple of other places, like a very popular product for saving for kids, for example, like a bond.
Well, I don't know if VDAL is in the bonds yet.
It is now.
Is it really?
They've
Is
added
it.
it.
Gen Life?
Yeah.
Really?
In Gen Life.
Interesting. Because I was opening my Gen Life account just as we were looking here, because I've just got VDHG in there and it's been fine. Like everyone's like, oh, no, you got to optimize and get it better. I'm like, no, I just focus on putting money in and let the investments do its thing. But yeah, I did a whole review of VDAL versus DHHF. Now, the asset allocation is 37% Australian equities, which is significant, I think. So take that for what you will. 41% in the US, so US equities. 16% in developed markets around the world, and 6% in emerging markets. So well over 60% international in this, and it's 100% growth. Where VDAL is also 100% growth.
Yeah.
And it's similar. They've, it goes back to back to Blessy. I'm wondering what else I could add. Just add money. Like, what else do you add? Because it's that discussion whether I want to focus on my life, my work, my career, my goals, being a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and just living on less than I earn and shoving money into investments. That will do the job.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly frank, I think unless you've got over $1 million of investments, keep it really simple. Because, like, if you get a 1%,
Even over $1 million, keep it simple.
well, I mean, that's my point of view. But if you really want to, make it spicy and interesting, maybe over $1 million, sub $1 million, like you get a 1% return higher.
I mean, I did a deep dive.
Sure, you're gonna, earn a little bit extra, but it's.
I think there's a couple of things there. There's if you get it, 1% makes a huge difference over 30 years. Right. So for people with $5 million, it doesn't make as much difference because it's how much does that really matter? But for people with $100,000 or less, lower balances, starting balances with super, that type of thing, cost is the most important thing that you can control. But as your balance grows a bit more, cost becomes less important than getting the right
Well, when
outcome.
you're starting, the best outcome is the cash that you put in,
Yeah.
like the
definitely.
actual contributions each month. of
So
your
the
own money.
behaviour-
Statistically, index funds outperform.
Yeah.
Active
Active,
equivalents.
yeah.
But an index fund will always
you-
perform under the index after fees.
Well, that's true.
If
but
you're
that's
throwing
true.
a
but
dart, if you're
most-
throwing a dart at the map. If you're throwing a dart at the map. But look, to go another way for a second, if you've got a significant enough amount of money to be investing, so if it's $1 million, even if it's 100, the decisions are really important. Not just is it, so there's probably more important than anything is tax, right? And I mean, we're going deeper than Bessie's question here, but structuring that in the right way, deciding what does it go into super, does it stay in your own personal name, or do you open something like a bond type product like Glenn was just talking about, so Generation Life? Tax rates in those might be significantly lower than what you're earning. There are all sorts of discussions around that stuff that is where those decisions become far more important than your investment return.
Yes.
And something else that trumps investment return generally is behavior. So we talked about the spending plan.
Yeah,
talked
exactly.
about keeping more of what you're earning, structuring accounts, not burning it all, trying to hack points, not burning it all because it's all in one big bucket in the offset account, being clear on what's spendable, what's not, spending in line with what you care about, saving more as a result. Then where do you put it? And that end conversation of is it passive or active or something else is a much more minor.
Yeah, it's so far down the
Consideration.
list that
I mean, I think, Blessy, you need a copy of the book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, because I reckon that will really help you on your journey to enlightenment. Well, we will leave it there. It's just gone 6 p.m. We're recording
after hours.
after hours.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Self-employment, that'll do it to you.
Let's go and get some dinner. James
Are you
Millard.
paying? We'll transfer the money to you.
Yeah.
Just get
I'll
the
pay on my
points.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even pay for meals in the business with people. Like if I go out for a work thing, I don't put any like meals through.
That's why my spending power on Amex is higher than yours, mate.
No.
It's non-existent.
No, I just think, I don't know. I just want it easy. But yeah,
You were about to say my name, Glenn. Please go on.
you've been listening to James Millard from Sufficient Funds. And what else do you do? What else does Sufficient Funds do? Oh, I forget. Do you feel?
I think, what, are they home loans as well?
No, I don't know. It wasn't that, was
Home
it?
loans? Was it home loans? I think it is.
Oh, look
Could
out.
be.
So yeah, what type of clients do you look after?
We work with higher income earners. If you're a couple, over 200 grand is a good start. People who have capacity to save, because that leads to we need to make decisions around where it goes, or dealing with a big chunk of cash. Because then there's decisions to make, and it starts from the goals. We filter it through, and get all those considerations lined up and mapped out and then deliver advice on
I
it.
love it. Phyllis?
What we do,
Syphilis?
we are. You giggle too much on that.
I like that. Oh, before you do that,
Yeah, go.
funniest story. Not funny. I'm selling this.
Syphilis to a funny story. Okay, yeah,
No,
bring
no,
us
I'm
there.
selling an old rail here from the stairs that we moved.
The third rail.
And and there was this lovely retiree lady. She said she's on the pension. She's like, because I had it up for $400, steel railing. She's like, I didn't realize you were just a Bennett's Green. I don't know how to get it. It's difficult to get help these days. And I'm like, maybe a handyman could do it. And then she wrote me yesterday, Glenn, is this still available? I have $200. Would you accept and deliver it for me? And I wrote,
You got it on Facebook Marketplace.
yeah, I love that. I don't have a uterus big enough, sadly. And she went, lol, made my day. And I went, oh, sorry, or ute. Anyway. So,
Gold.
syphilis, Phyllis.
There we go. What do we do?
Here we go.
We
Do you do home loans, Phil?
No, we don't. No, we are simple. We help people set up personal insurance, and we don't have an income requirement. We're simple guys and girls over at Skywealth.
Well,
So
you maybe need an income if you want income protection.
yeah, but you don't need an income to require life insurance or disability or trauma. So if you're
What do you do? Oh,
stay-at-home parent, you still need protection in place. So that's our business. We help people get personal insurance protection in place, and when they feel like they need advice or help with their mortgages, we introduce them to people like James.
Someone I don't know if you saw it the other day, someone in the Facebook group was like, oh, I'm reaching out to Sky Wealth for my insurances. And he tagged me. Don't tag me, everyone. It's annoying, but whatever. I don't care. I don't have a life. I'm always in the Facebook group. He said, oh, does M3 have a discount code? And I'm like, nope.
No, we don't. I mean,
Just
we
pay.
don't have discount code for
For anyone.
Yeah,
Right.
anything. So, yeah. So our fees are $330 or $495 for couples, and a little bit more for self-employed because of the complexity involved. But yeah, it's scoped, scaled advice. We only give personal insurance advice. So whether that's within your current super fund, you've got it, we'll look at that, we'll compare it and make a recommendation that we feel is in our client's best interest.
You got longer than James. Oh, but I interrupted you about 15
I'm
times.
not jealous.
And he got two
I
pictures.
didn't get the syphilis nickname.
Yeah.
So.
All right, James.
Hey,
Jimbo. What's the Jimbo one? Jimbo. Everyone, what's an STI? That rhymes with James.
put it in the comments.
Put it in the
at
Facebook group.
YouTube. No, YouTube.
Tag
No,
at
no, I'm
sufficient
going to
funds.
ask ChatGPT, what is an STI that rhymes with
James or Millard.
James
What's
or
your middle name?
Millard?
Edward.
Edward.
Oh, I'm happy to share.
There's no common STI.
It's all in my book, Insufficient Funds.
Another pitch. I love it.
There's nothing that rhymes. What is your most favorite STI? ChatGPT.
Taking
This
a
is after
turn.
hours. This is right after
ChatGPT
hours.
doesn't have a favorite STI, everyone. I don't really have favorites, but if we're talking from a medical curiosity angle, syphilis is the most interesting in history. Giddy up, baby.
On that note,
Get checked. Go to the doctors. Don't scratch it too much. My name's Glenn. This is Phil, and that was James. Bye.
See ya.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glen James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds financial services license 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.